Yo, what's up? Whoop whoop, it's your boy Killer J with another edition of Whoops Up, Whoops Down, the Juggalo movie review podcast or whatever I feel like doing today. And boy, we have a great episode today. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about the Oscars, get some recaps with that, and then we're gonna do a review for The Monkey. So Osgoes Perkins, The Monkey. So that's the on the deck for the show today. Um, so let's first talk about the Oscars. First, shout out to all those that showed up to the live stream with me and my wife Autumn while we watched the Oscars. That was very fun. I hope you guys also had a good time. Hoping to do a little more with live stream, especially maybe do trailer reactions and stuff like that. See how we feel about new trailers. I think that would be a good way, and maybe just hop on and just chat about movies. So maybe that's something I will do in the future. Don't quite know, but the night, um, the Oscars, I would say was very. It's it's long. It's a long show to watch. I feel like this year emphasized a lot about independent makers. You had Flow winning Best Animated over Wild Robot and over Inside Out 2, just showing that, and then, just the fact that Anora just kind of won the big major Oscars, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best Actress, Best, Director, Best Picture. I mean, it won the night. If you watched my review of Anora, I gave it a whoops up, but I wasn't crazy about it. And I can say that it wasn't, you know, it if it's probably in the top five of the film. Well, I only watched five films for the Oscars this year, so it's definitely top three. I don't think it's, I think The Substance and Dune 2 is better than Anora. I disagreed with original screenplay because it feels so familiar. But at this point, what is original anymore? So shout out to Sean Baker winning his first award, and making a movie that resonated with the Academy. They don't always get it right, but the fact that they picked somebody that's an up and comer, is very cool. So that's the Oscars. And, this year, since we're starting this podcast, we might be able to see some Oscars. We'll see how many Oscar potentials we see this year. We'll find out. Um, but I'm excited to announce in 2 weeks I will be doing a special collab with Humble Among. We're going to be watching and reviewing Toxic Avenger, and then I'll be going on his show and do something with him within the same, around the same timeline. So tune in for that. If you ever like, I've never seen Toxic Avenger, the OG, and it's a perfect time to watch that with the remake coming up. So shout out to Humble for picking that movie, and I'm excited to watch it and discussing with you if you watch this video right now. But anyways, that's enough jibber jabber in this intro. Going a little longer than usual, but um, we're the next section we're gonna go into is Ozos Perkins, The Monkey. You know how I felt about Long Legs. That was really good. So let's get the review of that and see if the film gets a whoops up or whoops down in a new category, whoops sideways. All right. Let's get to that portion of this video right now. What's up? Welcome to the review portion of Osgoes Perkins, The Monkey. But before we dive deeper into this horror black comedy, I will let you know there's going to be some slight spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen the film, then you need to get out of here before you get spoiled. And because I feel like the film really, the less you know about a film, probably the better experience you're going to get than having someone tell you how good or how bad it is, depending on what your taste is and how you digest film and and use your opinion. But Osgo Perkins, he is the hot name right now, especially after last summer's success in Longlegs. Quickly, they cranked out this film right here of The Monkey. It's actually a Stephen King short story that was part of, I think, Skeleton Crew or something like that. I'm not a big Stephen King fan, but this is part of one of his short story collection that Osgo Perkins kind of took some of the story ideas and um, made it his own. And we'll discuss how I feel about that. But The Monkey. All right. So the quick little synopsis is on IMDb says that the monkey is when twin brothers Bill and Hal find their father's old monkey toy in the attic. A series of gruesome deaths starts. The siblings decide to throw the toy away and move with their lives growing apart over the years. The first big portion of this film, probably the first 30 minutes, is this backstory of these two twins and their relationship with the monkey. The film needs you to understand why this monkey is important and how dangerous it is. Even though the very first scene we kind of get the kind of like the first 5 minutes of the film tells you exactly what it's going to be like, and if you are in for that kind of the kind of comedy kind of style, then I think you're really going to enjoy this movie, because this movie is like a Final Destination with a sense of camp, with some little like black comedy into it. Like there's a sense of humor here, or there's a there is a sense of humor in here. But I think what really that makes this film stand apart throughout it is the the death scenes that the monkey inhaled. So it's written and directed by Osgo Perkins, and it stars Theo James, Tati Masaline, Kristen Culvery, who plays the younger Hal and the younger Bill. And I gotta say, right away, I think Osgo Perkins did some good things and did some bad things. I'm just gonna let you know that I wasn't a fan of Osgo Perkins' writing. This film wants to be very funny, and I think sometimes I don't think Osgo is good at writing comedies, because there'd be some times where it feels like a joke is happening and no one's laughing. I was in the theater with my wife on Tuesday, and I felt like I was the only one laughing, and the only times I was laughing was during the murder, like the death scenes. The death scenes that's where the enjoyable things about this movie is. And then the monkey itself, from the design, the look of the monkey, the sound of the song it plays when someone's about to die, that all works. I think Osgo Perkins has a great eye for violence, and maybe the hilarious and randomness of death. I think he captures that very well. I found out that this film was made for $10 million, and it feels like it. Not in the deaths, but in certain aspects of like costuming and locations that we spend on. I think Theo James did a good enough job. I just don't feel like he was strong enough, and that made me come down to the writing when it came to the two twins. Um, but it's basically a film where, these two brothers experience death, and and then how they handle with the death of their mother and stuff like that goes a long way, and then a kind of curse with this monkey, which is kind of like Hal calls it the devil. And in Longlegs, you find out that there's a toy element of the devil that does the killing in that one. So it's almost like his eyes go returning back to the well here, and really, I think fleshing out that a lot better. Where in Longlegs, that was introduced in the third act. Spoilers for Longlegs, but that was revealed in the third act. And are you with or against it? And I think some people found the third act kind of not good, because that's when we find out that Nicolas Cage is a uh, is not who he said. Or actually, Nicolas Cage Long Legs is not who we think he is. The devil, the occult, comes into play, and it has to do with a toy. Okay, same thing. Those three elements: an apprentice, like an almost like an apprentice, occult like things, and a toy. All experience it here, but this one's more less serious and more funny. Even though there's some depth to the film, especially when how it handles, the complexity of death and how random it is. I also found like, because of the humor not working, it made me look at Osgo in a different light a little bit. Um, but let's save that for the closing thing. Let's go ahead and look at some of the scenes here from the. This is a this was we're gonna watch a little bit of the. There's Theo James as Hal, and just this is the Red Band trailer. Just kind of show you kind of the levels of the violence in this film, you know, boom, and how well certain shots didn't happen that, but they see like this film is caked with blood. And I think the first two acts really worked with the menacing of the monkey. I feel like the third act once again kind of falls apart a little bit. Where the two twin brothers, which I've never seen a twin brother relationship where they're totally against each other, where one twin feels like he's the older and bullies the younger one to the point where they are estranged. Two twins that are estranged. I found that was very interesting. But I felt, Hal is as a coward most of the movie, and Bill is just an asshole. And how this monkey hound, and how being close to death, and how if we allow it to control us, makes us our lives less meaning, makes us miss the important things in life when we're scared about death. Um, what I also enjoyed I'll play a little bit more of here. What I really also enjoyed about the film, it's like it's under 2 hours, but I could have used more. There's aspects of where I think Osgo has a great idea, and it comes with these kids where he could have told the whole film through the lens of these children, like about losing their mom and not having a father and stuff like that. But it almost has like an it effect where the children experiencing the horror is more compelling, and then when we get to the adults, we're not so. Even though when the monkey, when you turn it, it randomly kills people in the most horrific and accidental ways, that it's amusing. The sense of danger, I think, is more with the children, because it's the reason to use the monkey. I think a child would have that more effect. But I felt the when Oz Osgo Perkins really did a good job when it came to the writing with the kids. Another thing that was very interesting about the film, that that kept, like, I guess not bothering me, but kind of questioning what's going on here, is it gives you a time period of 1999 with the kids, but it doesn't really feel like that timeline. Even when we do modern, like 2025, they're still using payphones. There's very little things of technology. That could be because of the $10 million budget, but also could add it to a sense of hell, of a surreal, subversive thing where we're not really worrying about the technology around us. It's like, because death can come at any time. Um, um, well, so watch a little bit of it here. I mean the shots. Like, I think Osgo Perkins is still a very good director. I think, and some of the shots were really good, and I think the horrors and then the sound of the monkey was very effective. I think he has an eye, and I would look. He has a film coming out this October, so just watch three. Like, I feel that you shouldn't really judge a director until after you watch three films. Like, kind of keep your opinion. Like, you might not like his first film, but kind of watch the second film. The third film, it kind of tells you if the dude got it. And I'm kind of hmm, I'll say that thought toward the end too. There's some certain things about Osgo I want to talk about towards the end. I want to focus more on the monkey. I enjoyed, yeah. There's a lot of, I think if you are sitting there going, hey, I like Final Destination. I like black comedies. I think this is your bread and butter. I think this film does a really good job with the when the monkey is being used. I mean, like, look at this. These like shots of the monkey like that with the drum aspect when in the original story, the original Stephen King, it was cymbals. And I think the switch to drums makes it way more better, especially when it comes down. But yeah, that's kind of my 10 minute thoughts about the monkey real quick without being too spoily. Let's get to my final thoughts and give it a rating. Uh yeah, so let's get to that portion right now. In conclusion, I think the people who enjoy the Final Destination films, the um the horror comedy, black comedy, I think we'll find some good in this film. I think when the deaths happen, I think they're very cheer-worthy. I think you're going to be laughing. Um, it's not a film that you don't have to take serious, but I still think there are some levels of depth in the film. However, I just don't think Osgo Perkins is a good comedic writer, and I am actually now being. This is his second film where I saw his third act kind of like unravel a little bit. Makes me question Osgo Perkins as a writer. I think I enjoy him as a director still, and I think his film in October um will finally land how I feel about him because after Long Legs, I thought, here's this guy who could be the next thing. He's not a Yorgos Lanthimos. He's not an Eggers. Uh, the director did The Companion. I don't even mean is that. I think where I felt that there was some humor in there that landed very well, where the humor in Companion and the humor in the monkey is like I think you're gonna have a funner time watching the companion for the humor, and for this for the horror. And the like when the monkey's on the screen and you hear that sound, you know it's about to happen. So you're almost gleeing for the death. Um, but the writing, oof, oof. But the monkey gets a whoops up. I enjoyed it enough. I had a big smile when the deaths happened. The monkey's very enjoyable. I mean, like it did enough to go into whoops up territory. I still think any horror fan would enjoy it. I think there is a world where you could do a sequel from here, just because of how fun the monkey is. But maybe not bring Osgo back, and maybe not bring. You could bring Theo James back. I like Theo James. I just didn't think he was very strong, and maybe because I just don't know him and his twin work, I didn't think had any variety to it, but still worthy for a whoops up. So next week we're going back into a duplicate multiples where I'll be reviewing Mickey 17, Robert Pattinson, Bong Joon Ho, Mickey 17. That will come out next Friday. You know what? We're gonna change the schedule now. Till further notice. I thought Fridays would work. No, we're gonna move whoops up, whoops down to Saturdays. That is just gonna make sure that I have a lot more time. So that will premiere on next Saturday, Mickey 17, and then the following Saturday will be Toxic Avenger with Humble Among. I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Whoop whoop. Much town. Love.